Right then guys, so hi, this is Josh Bardsey from the Entrepreneur Vlog, and on today's video we're going to be talking about 5 books that are extremely important to your entrepreneurial career and getting started as an entrepreneur or moving forward as an entrepreneur. And we picked these 5 books because we feel that your learning needs to be sort of in many different areas. It doesn't have to just be in one single area. So there's no point just reading your 10 million books on sales. You need to learn books on mindset. You need to read books on the compound effect, on creative, on everything, so that you can become a well-rounded entrepreneur. Because we all know, as an entrepreneur in the beginning and when you're starting a business at any age, you're doing everything. You're doing a bit of everything. You're going to be that person that's basically doing all of it. And then over time, you begin to learn how to delegate, you bring team in, and over time it becomes much more scaled and much more about you running the business instead of doing everything. Right, so these 5 books. Well, first one, I'm going to talk about creativity and design and sort of learning how to market, because we all know that a business success is a direct reflection of its ability to market. You can't generate sales opportunities without first being able to market. And the book I'm going to talk about here is Jab, 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 Right Hook. Now, most people here, or people reading these, watching these videos, will know about Gary Vaynerchuk. Gary Vaynerchuk is a very successful marketer, very successful business person, and the author of 3 or 4 now best-selling New York Times books. So this book is fantastic. It dives into how to use social media properly. It dives into the nitty-gritty of how to form a post and how to develop a plan around social media so that you don't come across as salesy, you don't come across as someone that just wants to shove offers down someone's throat. You come across as someone that wants to give value, that is creative, cares about their customer base, and actually wants to develop good brand equity. So get this. It is a great book. I think it's about £15-16 or $25, something like that on Amazon. I'll put the link down below, as what I do with every other book here as well. Sweet. Next book is all about mind management. Now, I actually saw this chap a few weeks ago in an actual seminar, and he was fantastic. And that person is Professor Steve Peters. He's a psychology, I think he's a psychology lecturer up at Sheffield University, and he wrote the book The Chimp Paradox. Now this book has been absolutely groundbreaking in sports psychology, and it's been pulled into the world of business and pulled into the world of executive coaching. And I think that if you can get on with this stuff and learn about mind management, learn about how to control your mind in all these situations at a very young age or at a very early stage of your entrepreneurial career, then you're going to be set for life. Because this book really dives into when, I think the best example here is that when you're angry about something and then you literally vent and you go off and you say stuff that you don't really mean, or you say stuff that you think, in hindsight I wouldn't have said that. This book teaches you how to manage that. He calls that your chimp. Your chimp comes out and wants to come out and start ranting and running around and knocking shit over and doing all this kind of stuff. And this is all about how to manage that and how to understand that and how to lock your chimp away and realize that the situation is absolutely manageable as a normal, relaxed self. Okay? Really important book for you guys to read. So we've currently done Jab, 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 Right Hook, Chimp Paradox by Steve Peters. And the next one is all about business in general, because this one was really important to me when we started Avalanche and started Grace Bardsey. This book is called Buying Customers. Now, this talks about how marketing and sales is not really about marketing and sales. It's all about how much you're going to pay for a customer. It's all about cost per acquisition of each customer. If you can work out the cost per acquisition, you can work out how much you spent on marketing to generate that amount of customers, and then you can work out how much more money you can spend on marketing to generate more sales. So this book really dives into marketing transitioning into sales, which is why I haven't talked about the sales book just yet. This book talks about that, and it goes through many different strategies to buy new customers. It talks about a lot of how to drive down your cost per acquisition, and it's done by someone who I actually did an interview on this YouTube channel with a couple of weeks ago, Brad Sugars, very successful man. And this is a really good book, guys. Super simple to follow, really practical. You can see it. It's got examples of other small businesses, and it's great. One of the things I found that with reading all these books is that they often talk about either executives or large companies or really starting up entrepreneurs. They don't really talk about the SME. They don't talk about the business that has got started, but isn't at that point where it's absolutely flying yet. This book talks about that. This book talks about those businesses that need that help in that sort of plateau level, getting their snowball to the top of the hill so that it can then move down and gather momentum and take over the world, basically. Right, so that's that one. Very, very good book, guys. Very good book. Cost effective also. The next book is all about sales. Now, you guys probably would have heard of this person. His name is Cardone. Very, very successful person. Super good brand portrayer. Like, if you want to learn about how to portray a brand in a way that commits and promotes value, then Grant Cardone is the man. He has a number of books out, but this one for me was fantastic. It talks a lot about sales. It's basically, if you're not first, you're last. It's, you know, it's brutal. Basically, it's really brutal, and it talks about how people are complacent. People think about how when you're kind of waiting for stuff to come, and when you're first starting a company and generating customers is probably the most hardest thing you have to do in your life. Generating those leads without momentum is so difficult. I think I talked about this in one of my interviews I did last week, was that it took me about 6-7 months to get my first client on Avalanche, and then because we started implementing and driving and gathering momentum, it gathered momentum over time. But those first 6 months were hard work. And this book talks that it cuts right through the bullshit, it cuts right through the malarkey around sales, and goes right to the point and says, get to as many people as possible, get there fast, get there now, and just get on with it. Do as much as you possibly can. The second and third books in this series are obviously the 10x rule, which is again a highly important book, and I would love to put that in here, but the next book kind of tipped the edge just a little bit, and this is probably one of my favorite books of all time. This book is phenomenal. It's called The Slight Edge, and it's by Jeff Olson, I do believe. The Slight Edge, this talks about entrepreneurs in general, business people in general, and what they do and what you do every single, and you also fall down the hole here. We don't have a hole in the floor, we have a plug box, and I've got it open because I'm charging my laptop, but I just almost fell down it. So this book here, Slight Edge, is all talks about the compound effect, and that little slight movement that you do more than all of your peers, you do more than all of the other entrepreneurs out there, the other business people out there, and how that gathers momentum over time. And it's all about how you learn more, and you have lots and lots of simple disciplines that you do every single day, be it make 10 more calls, be it do something extra, go the extra mile. And it's these little simple disciplines that if you do them consistently over time, gives you that slight edge. And I think that this book was really sort of important to me, learning how to speed read and do a lot of reading, because it said, the best entrepreneurs, they might read an extra, book a month. But that book a month equates to 12 books a year, and it equates to over 10 years, that's 120 books. And 120 books, we just got 5 here. The amount of knowledge that you get in 5 books, and imagine reading 120 books over 10 years, or even double that in a year, or that plus 2 in a year. The amount of knowledge that you guys are going to get is phenomenal. And those 5 books are the ones that we think will be successful. So, Slight Edge, for me, is amazing, and I think that you should read that probably first, and then get with the jab, right hook, and that will really get your mindset into the learning of it. But yeah, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll just give you a quick run through the books again. It's Slight Edge, If You're Not First, You're Last, Buying Customers, Chimp Paradox, Jab, right hook. They are our top 5 books for entrepreneurs to read in 2017. So guys, thank you very much. Give this a thumbs up, subscription, and we will see you next time.